What is there to gain from war? Not much. I mean, there's going to be mothers and fathers weeping at home for their sons and daughters that will never come back. There are going to be weeping sons and daughters with moms and dads that may also never come home. There's the instability that it will bring to the world depending upon the world scope. Can any of you guys cite any good aspect of these conflicts? How about peace? What is there to gain from peace? I'm asking you because we have a couple of people in Congress who are now pushing the narrative that we are at war with China. That's right, guys. They're not saying it's a possibility. They're saying it's happening right now. And China is surprisingly answering back with jabbed words. This doesn't sound good, does it? And didn't the president say that we respect the one China policy? Well, as it turns out, some lawmakers are now saying that this is a thing of the past. We are at war with China. I can't even begin to wrap my head around this one. Are you guys seeing this? Also, did you guys see those lasers in Hawaii that were rumored to be China planning a hypersonic missile attack? That's some scary stuff, guys. Now, before I continue, please take a second and smash the like button. Totally helps out a ton with the YouTube algorithm, and it helps get more traction on providing the facts to the people. And if you're in need of your daily dose of the truth when it comes to global happenings and conflicts, the state of our economy, the stock market, the housing market, Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and what's really going on in Washington, D.C. that affects our lives, our families, and our bank accounts, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And for the best way to invest in gold today, hit the link in the description down below of this video.
What should Chinese President Xi know about your commitment to Taiwan?
We agree with what we signed on to a long time ago, and that there's a one China policy, that Taiwan makes their own judgments about their independence. We are not moving, we're not encouraging their being independent. That's their decision.
But would U.S. forces defend the island?
Yes, if in fact there was an unprecedented attack.
To be clear, sir, U.S. forces, U.S. men and women, would defend Taiwan in the event of a Chinese invasion.
Yes.
This interview was held just a few months ago, and it basically confirms that we will be putting boots on the ground if China ever invaded Taiwan. Man, nobody tells Zelensky about this one because I'm pretty sure he's feeling mighty jealous of Taiwan at the moment. In a fantastic piece from Caitlin Johnstone called "The Drums of War with China Are Beating Much Louder Now," Johnstone takes the obvious route of the narrative being provided to us by saying, quote, "Comments from both Washington and Beijing have suddenly become much more pointed and aggressive in recent days, with talks about how war now being discussed as not just a real possibility, but in many cases a probability," end quote. Now that piqued my curiosity, so I decided to compare the two terms, right? So when you say something is possible, it means that it's able to be done. Now, if something is probable, that means it's likely to happen. But let's talk about that one China policy again, right? How come lawmakers are now saying that the policy is now outdated? I mean, it completely sounds like it if we listen to Representative Chris Stewart.
We have this policy of strategic ambiguity, which has served us well for the last 30 years. But I wonder if it's not time for us to declare another policy, a new policy, and that is we will defend Taiwan. It's pretty clear the president seems to think that. And I think if we're going to deter, again, understanding the need for strategic ambiguity before, but times are different now. If we're going to deter, I think we have to be clear in saying, yes, we will defend Taiwan militarily if we have to. Director, am I wrong? And has there been a change in the administration's policy regarding ambiguity?
There you go. He's saying that we have to let the policy go because just like what President Biden said a while ago, we're sending our troops if China invades Taiwan. But what if we're already at war? You got lawmakers like Congressman Tony Gonzalez saying stuff like this.
My first question is for you, General. I just got back from a trip from Taiwan. It's the second trip to Taiwan in the past 14 months. I spent 20 years in the military, as my good friend August Pfluger pointed out, our chairman pointed out. I know what war looks like. We're at war. I mean, this is a war. It may be a Cold War, but this is a war with China. With the People's Republic of China, every single day are invading Taiwan via their cyberspace. Not only that, but the question I have for you is in particular, your expertise is in air. I spent 5 years as an air crewman flying against China. I know exactly when they come out and they intercept our aircrafts. They're doing that every single day. And there's a danger in that, right? Because everything is fine until there is an accident. a spark, if you will, that turns a Cold War into a hot war.
You may be wondering, what's the difference between the two terms? Well, a Cold War is mostly political, wherein a hot war uses deadly force and weapons. Yeah, I'd like to just kind of stick to politics if that's the case. And in case you haven't heard, Chinese President Xi Jinping recently talked about the United States. He said that, quote, Western countries led by the United States have implemented all-around containment, encirclement, and suppression against us, bringing unprecedentedly severe challenges to our country's development, end quote. It sure sounds like they're pretty pissed at us. But like I said, there's plenty of lawmakers who are down to go to war with China. Just look at this Twitter post from Representative Yates in response to hearing that China got irked by members of Congress visiting Taiwan. He said that, quote, they're angry. I don't care. We're going to stand with freedom and democracy wherever it is in the world, in Ukraine, in Taiwan, and on the streets of Tehran. We can't flinch just because the CCP is angry, end quote. Well, it looks as if things may get worse as the Biden administration formed a coalition with Australia and the UK to look after the Indo-Pacific with plans to build a combined fleet of nuclear-powered submarines. Check this out.
AUKUS has one overriding objective: to enhance the stability of the Indo-Pacific amid rapidly shifting global dynamics. In this first project is only beginning. More partnerships, more potential, more peace and security in the region lies ahead. Simply stated, we're putting ourselves in the strongest possible position to navigate the challenges of today and tomorrow.
Now, I want you to take that in. He wants to achieve peace by arming his allies. Does that seem normal to you? Now, if you're in a fight and you give a gun to your friend, does that mean that you really want peace? How bad would a war with China look like? I mean, just look at our economy and what we're buying. If China cuts us off, then poof, we're done. And it's not like the narrative has improved since the balloons fiasco. Now they're talking about laser beams. I'm not kidding, guys. News outlets are eating this stuff up with the United States Sun saying that the lasers fired from satellites are gathering intelligence for a surprise hypersonic missile attack on Hawaii. It looks eerily beautiful, doesn't it? So what's the verdict, guys? Is China preparing a surprise attack on American land? Should we be scared for our lives and our loved ones? Or should we believe that these lights came from a Chinese pollution monitoring satellite? What is that what they were doing? Pollution monitoring, but in Hawaii? Or should we just talk about a false flag at this point? You guys are sharp. Tell me what you guys are thinking is happening in this situation. Any Australians or British folks in the community? Any thoughts on AUKUS and do you support it? Let me know what you guys feel in the comments section down below. And if you ask me, I feel perplexed about all of this, about the need to discuss war as if it's necessary in this day and time. What's so wrong with peace anyway? Many people yearn for that, and not just with our countries, but with our lives. The past few years haven't given us very much financial peace, especially when you take into consideration that inflation has been quite sticky. Layoffs are expected in 2023, credit card debt keeps coming up, and we're nowhere near the financial freedom that we enjoyed just a few years ago. So maybe it's time for a change. Maybe mix it up. Maybe focus on investments, the stock market, real estate, or maybe you experiment as an entrepreneur. Think side hustles, small businesses that can help you get your cash flow up. But anyway, I just want to share this information with you guys. I want to always thank you guys for dropping a like for the videos. Please be kind to one another, and I'll see you on the next one.